All right, good. So, hello everyone, and welcome to our program management professional training. So, we have already announced this training since a couple of months. So, I am really glad that you guys made it to join this training. So, we will run this training on 8 sessions. Each session will be around 3 hours long, probably 3 hours and 15 minutes around that, since we will have a 15-minute break in the middle of the session. All right. So usually the break will be after an hour and 30 minutes or an hour and 40 minutes. I will try to make this the rhythm of this course as smooth and entertaining as possible. So we have a lot of people who are already PMP certified from all over the world who are really interested in, going, in the next step, taking the next step. Since, when people usually get certified as PMP professionals, they ask this question, what's next? A lot of people thought that after PMP, they should go for RMP or ACP or actually, those are side certifications. Those are called certifications of specialty. So, like you specialize a little bit more in risk management, you specialize a little bit more in agile. Even though in the PMP training you actually studied enough risk management and enough agile, you don't really, probably, for as a project manager, you probably don't need a specific certification unless if your employer really asks for it. However, a program management professional certification is one of the logical next steps after PMP. Okay, and it's not the only one, but back in December 2025, so almost 6 months ago, we held an entire free PMI PMOCP certification training of about, I think it was 3 or 4 sessions back then. And PMI PMO CP certification is one of the logical certifications that come after PMP, and so is the PGMP. All right, and one of the reasons PGMP is one of the logical steps after PMP is first of all part of the career roadmap for a lot of or for many project managers who manage large projects or actually programs or projects which have been running for years, and actually they don't really qualify as a as a project. They qualify more as programs. Okay, so that's one of the reasons. Actually, we do have some interesting slides we will share with you, so you can understand why this training will help you. Now, I know that some people wanted to join this training to explore what program management is about. Some of them want to earn PDUs so they can renew their other certifications, which is fair. It makes sense. But I know that a lot of people are really interested in taking that additional step, that further step in their career, because as I said, either they manage programs directly, or they're part of more strategic initiatives, or they work on a company-wide, let's say, assignments, which most of the time qualify as programs. Okay, so let's kick it off. Let's first of all start by presenting myself. Okay, so I think some of you know me since I try to be active on LinkedIn and other social media platforms. So my name is Ahmed Ben Hamouda is my surname. I've been in the project management industry for almost 20 years. I started as a PMO, then moved on to project managers roles, different levels of project managers roles, managed different levels of different complexity levels projects. I started, I had a couple of easy projects, as a junior project manager. Then I moved on to more advanced project manager roles, then senior project manager. However, in my career, let's say maybe 60% what I have managed were actually programs and maybe portfolios. Okay, why? That's because when you learn project management, when you practice project management, when you know project management, then your management or your administration, they ask you to manage more complex projects or initiatives, which absolutely turn to become programs. Okay, so I've worked in waterfall, I've worked in agile, I've worked in hybrid, in also other environments which were chaotic and disciplined, other types of project management and organizations. And all, it was an interesting experience when you are a PMO or a program manager. You're not a project manager. Project manager is a specific role. Okay, even though it's the most famous role in business, almost. Okay, even though PMP is the the most famous certification in the world, project manager is very is a specific role. But when you're a PMO or a program manager, you have different views, which then, in addition to your project management experience, you enjoy, a whole, synchronized view between all of these roles. Okay. So I'm conducting this training not because I earned my PgMP certification about a year later. Actually, I applied for PgMP since 11 years ago in 2015. But I'm not kidding when I say I did not have the time to focus on it. Okay, since PMP was taking all of my time, but then I told myself finally I have to do it, so I did it. And also PFMP is on the way because I have to find time for it. So probably guys, you're gonna enjoy a PFMP course as well soon. Okay, maybe towards the end of this year or beginning of next year. However, let me tell you, one of my key drivers of conducting this program management training, not because only of the knowledge people need to manage programs, but let me tell you this. There are almost 1.8 million PMP certified professionals in this world. Almost 1.8 million. That's a huge number. But how many program management professionals are there in the world? Few thousands, really few thousands, not a lot. Okay. Why? Because PMP has become so famous because of the knowledge we share in the PMP, because of the skills people learn in the PMP training, because of the techniques and tools, disciplines, methodologies, approaches people learn in the project management, the PMP training. And PMP is so rich that it can really help anyone exercise different roles. So that's why many people, and I was one of them, who really thought PMP really, helped me earn a lot of knowledge and skills that already helped me with all of my assignments. But then who went for the next level of PgMP? And I remember PgMP just 3-4 years ago, there were around 2,000 to 3,000 people having the PgMP certification. Now there are more, okay, more than that. Okay, just China by itself, almost 3,000 now. Okay, so we're talking about a decent number of PgMP certified people, but not enough. And I will show you quite populous countries with hundreds of millions of, in population, but only tens of PgMP certified professionals. So that's why we want to make this training available to everyone in the world, so we can help PMP certified professionals go for the next level in their career, become program management professionals. Okay. Now, let me explain to you how we will run this course. Okay. For the people who are watching it live. Okay. So, since we're building this new platform, which we call the Project Companion. I think many of you already know it, but those who don't know it yet, it's fine. So we will go, actually this will go live. This is just a prototype. What you see here is only a prototype. The MVP version is coming out on Thursday this week, 9th of July, because of the change in the PMP exam content. So the MVP version is coming on July 9th. This platform is still work in progress, since our purpose is to make sure that it runs on Metaverse by next year. By the end of next year, it should run on Metaverse, a totally different technology and way advanced platform. However, this course, the PgMP course, including the quizzes, the exams, the material, the presentation, everything you need to very well prepare for your PgMP certification will be available on the project-companion.com. So this is just a prototype today. On Thursday, it will be a little different because the MVP will be released. So we will run the MVP for 6 months, get feedback from people, so then we can work on the next version, which will be a more advanced version. Show you how your course will look like by showing you how the PMP actually course looks like. Okay. So here, this company has got steps. Step one, all about, now it shows now PMP. By the end of this month, July, it will be all about courses. So there will be also PMO, PGMP, etc. Okay. So you go here, in all about PMP, you will learn about PMI, the PMP, how to create a profile, how to submit PMP application, how to run audit pay and schedule. Then here, step two is what matters the most. Step two here actually is, there are sections for course details, how to enroll, what to expect. But here, this is for PMP. You will have the same for PGMP. You have a full 35-hour course for PMP, and here you have the chapters. That will be the same for the PGMP. And for every chapter, for example, if I open the business environment a chapter here, okay, you will have the full course of PMP. Probably I have an issue with my connection, so that's why it's going slow. Anyway, so you will have the full video course per chapter, the quizzes. So you'll have for PGMP, you will have, I think, quizzes of 15 questions. For PMP, we have more. We have for each chapter a quiz of 5 questions, another quiz of 15 questions, another quiz of 25 questions, and then here you have the resources. Probably I can go. The chapter one is better. Chapter one to show you the resources for the how they look like. So actually for each chapter you have the PDF attached. You can view it. Actually, again, probably my network is probably a little slow, but anyway, you will have here the full PDF when you run on a better network than mine, okay, of the course. So the PGMP actually will be the same. Actually, we even do have the the exams. We have, I think, 5 full exams available for you. Okay, so if I go here, we have already 5 full exams available for you. They only are waiting for us to publish them. Okay, I can even show you if I go to my admin portal and I go to exams and quizzes. Okay. Here, exams and quizzes, and I can show you down here. Already we have full exam PGMP number 2, number 3, number 1. We have the quizzes, the PGMP quizzes. They only are waiting for us to publish them. You see the button is not checked, so they are not published. So they are only waiting for us to publish them. Okay, everyone who will complete this course, they will be entitled to try this. Okay, you will have the right to try it. And on Thursday, in 2 days from now, once we release this, the MVP version of this companion, then you will enjoy, having a similar section to the PMP where you have, a full 24-hour course of PGMP, split by chapters. And in each chapter, as I mentioned, there will be the videos, the quizzes, and the learning resources. And at the same time, we will create for you what we call the wrap-up. For every course we will have a wrap-up. So a wrap-up where you can have, a 3-hour or a 4-hour summary course in case you don't have, time to go through the entire course. Okay. All right, so this is the companion in which the full course will be available, including the full exams. There will be 5 full exams, not 3, 5. The other 2 are work in progress. And there will be also quizzes, study material. This presentation, which contains hundreds of pages, also will be available on the companion. Okay? Now, let me start by explaining this, and I do hope that everyone will get it right. Who is this training for? I already mentioned at the beginning of this session, I told you that we have 1.8 million PMP certified professionals. And we know that a decent percentage of them actually work on larger initiatives than projects, probably programs, portfolios, strategic assignments, etc. So for sure, they will need more than a PMP training. So this PgMP training actually is very helpful for anyone who identify themselves as program managers, people who watch after a number of related projects or interrelated projects, okay, and who need to report on the program overall, because managing these projects separately and independently is not enough to achieve the expected or wanted value. So grouping them for strategic purposes, for let's say coordination or synchronization purposes, and also because it makes sense to have them under the supervision of a program manager, because on each of these projects, there is a project manager managing a project. So coordinating between all of these program managers and reporting on all of these projects together, we will need a program manager for that, okay? So this is one of the reasons. Now, somebody just asked right now, hello, Ahmed, but managing or watching after the project managers, isn't that a PMO role? No, it is not a PMO role. Yes, a PMO can look after the project managers with their different projects. However, when those projects are grouped into one entity called the program, and watching after them together to provide support, to provide coordination, to then have one standardized report on all of these initiatives together, then comes the role of the program manager. Program manager and PMO are not exactly the same, because many people actually confuse both roles. A PMO, a project management office, actually is the entity or the people who, let's say, set up the project management discipline in the organization, who put in place the methodologies, provide the templates, the tools, who provide training to the project managers, any other type of support to the project managers, or anyone who needs a support from the PMO. PMO actually is more now defined as a service provider in the organization, mainly in project management. So it's a different role than a program manager, because a program manager actually has got a few related projects under their umbrella, so they can report on in a synchronized way on all of them, or consolidated way on all of them. Then also, this training is very good for anyone actually who qualifies as a senior project manager. Okay, so senior project managers usually manage large and complex initiatives, which are bigger than, let's say, a project by itself. So senior project managers, usually they have these long-running initiatives, or initiatives with multiple components, which could probably be separated into projects. No, we don't use the word sub-projects. Sub-projects does not exist as a word. So we say either a project or a program. We can say components, we can say phases of a project, but we don't say sub-projects. Doesn't really exist. Okay? PMO leaders, also this training is really good for them, because PMOs, who are very lucky people, who have the overview of project management in the organization, people who put in place governance, set up processes, people who really create the necessary reporting dashboards, okay? Who put in place the standards of project management, including also the tailoring methods for project management. They can also put in place policies, different reporting metrics, okay, or KPIs for the projects. We all need KPIs as a project managers or program managers, so they put in place KPIs. Also, they set the rules for compliance, how to be sure that a project is compliant, or a program is compliant, or a portfolio is compliant. So that's usually what PMO leaders do, among other stuff, such as coordinating resources between projects, not related projects. So PMO leaders, yes, they need this training. Can PMO leaders become program managers? If they are senior enough. If they have this holistic view and they have strong coordination skills beyond project management skills, then definitely they can use this training. They can benefit from this training. Now, we talked about the PMP certification holders. Next level, go for PgMP. Absolutely. RMP, PMI, RMP, the risk management professional certification is not the next level. Okay. PMI ACP is not the next level. PMI PBA is not the next level. PMI scheduling professional SP is not. The construction professional is not. The AI is not. Do you want to prove, guys? Go to PMI's website. Let me show you if you want, if you don't mind. Okay, let me go to PMI's website. Okay, again, as I told you, there seems to be slowness in my connection. Look, go to certifications here and look at the left side. Core certifications, core, the essentials, the fundamentals, CAPM, PMP, PgMP, PFMP. Those are the core certifications. The others are specialized certifications. If you want to learn a little bit more about risk management, go for RMP. Here it is. If you want to learn a little bit more about agile, go, for ACP, even though I don't really know what more ACP is bringing compared to what we have in PMP training. You want to specialize in construction, go for this PMICP. You want to specialize or know a little bit more about business analysis, go for PBA. You want to specialize. Now, by the way, PMI, PMOCP, I think I'm going to try to convince PMI to bring it into core certifications because honestly, that's not a specialty. That should be a core. But anyway, PMI is launching a new certification by the end of this year or probably the beginning of next year. We're all curious about it. When I had Pierre Liman, the PMI CEO and president, together with Lenka Pinko in my podcast 3 months ago, they shared a little bit of information on that. Not too much, but, at least they confirmed the advanced certification. Also, scheduling professional is a specialized certification. The professional in managing AI projects, that's also a specialized certification. The new one, the sustainable project professional, or the green one, as which was launched a year and a half ago. All of those are specialized certifications. The core ones are here. Okay, so that's why I told you PMP is absolutely the next certification after the PMP. Also, any transformation leaders who want to take their companies from a current, probably not so well organized state to probably a better future organized state, larger, more disciplined. Yes, this training is for them, as well as anyone who is working on managing multiple projects. If you're managing multiple projects, then you definitely need to have advanced skills such as the program management professional. Now, by the way, there is a trick. There is a big difference between the PMP exam and the PgMP exam, and I'm going to talk to you about it, or tell you about it in one of the last slides, of this session, because in this session we will cover a decent part of the slides, and there is one which will explain to you how you should think the PgMP exam, which is different than the PMP exam. Okay, and then I will tell you about the similarities, because I know in this training, out of hundreds of people already present, I know most of you people are PMP certified professionals already. So, and I know you already took the exam. So I will tell you what's different and what's similar between the two certification exams. All right. Now, this PgMP is definitely not an advanced PMP. You should not think in the same way. And again, I have a detailed slide about that. PgMP tests you on the strategic program leadership level, not the project management, process-oriented, people-oriented, business-oriented, or business environment-oriented level. No, it's more the strategic level. How to achieve value out of coordinated projects. Please write down this sentence. How to achieve value out of a number of coordinated and related projects. Okay, so it's not a bigger version of a PMP. Don't think that. Okay, it's not focusing on project delivery. Actually, not. Almost any question in the PgMP exam, which you would answer, in which you would choose the answer of make sure there is a proper delivery out of a project, is wrong. You need to think on a strategic level. Okay, it's not about managing projects. It's not about scope of a project or cost of project. It's more about leading multiple related projects. That's what the PGMP exam is about. Now, this is really important to put on mind. Strategy, value out of coordinated and related projects, how to align the programs with the strategy. And the program is, within a portfolio. We will see that on Thursday in the next session. And, how you would, make sure that your program is aligned. How you would govern the complexity within or inside the program, and how would you manage the interdependencies, all right? Also, now I talked about delivering benefits and business value out of the coordinated and related projects, but then program management is about engaging the executives and the high-level stakeholders in the proper manner and in the proper way. Okay, so program management or the PGMP exam focuses on the strategy rather on the operational. Projects are operational, okay? Programs and portfolios are strategy. They focus on governance of an entire program of coordinated projects, how to make or achieve benefits, enterprise value. So, okay, this is not only about getting delivery out of a project. Now, please pay attention to that. That's different than a project, okay? You need to change your view, okay? All right. So why is that the same? This slide summarizes it, okay? So in a program, you will have different types of work. You can have projects, you can have operations, you can have product-related work. You can have different types of work. Put that on mind, please, okay? So a program should, pour directly into the strategy, the high-level strategy, okay? So it's different than a project. For me, when I created these slides with my colleagues, I thought more of visuals, how to make it so visual that it will help you remember. Because you probably, guys, some of you have joined my PMP training, and you know how we conduct the PMP training. It's a lot about visuals, because a lot of writing will not stick in your mind, but visuals, they will definitely stick. So for me, if you would remember the shape of a program in a really nice visual way, that would help you remember for a long time how that works and what is a program. Okay, now let's have an introduction, or let's have a view on the table of content of this training. Okay, I wanted to have those slides as an introduction first before going into the detailed program content. And as I said, this presentation has got hundreds of slides. Okay, so you're going to enjoy a lot of content in this 24-hour training. Okay, so chapter 1 is about having an introduction to program management. Chapter 2 is looking into the principles of program management. Then we will look into now the different domains, strategic alignment, then benefits management, then stakeholder engagement, then governance framework, then collaboration, and finally the longest chapter, which is the program life cycle. And actually that's the biggest part of the program management professional exam, since it accounts for nearly 44% of the questions in the PGMP certification exam. Okay, then we will look at the core knowledge and exam mastery, and finally the chapter that everyone knows that I always have in my training, whether it's PMP, whether it's PMO, whether it's CAPM, the exam tips and tricks to help you know what to focus on, how to answer the questions, and how to pass so you can earn your certification proudly. Okay, so these will be our content for the next 8 sessions. Back a lot. Always your copybook and your pen with you, so you can always take notes. Not everything I say is written in the presentation, and you always need to rely on your notes when preparing for your PGMP exam. Our goal is to have at least 300 people, new people certified as program management professionals by the end of this year, from different countries and different regions. All right. Now, Is there a PMI mindset in the PGMP exam? Oh yes, absolutely. Now, sorry, I seem to have a problem. Okay. Please, can you guys, someone writes me on WhatsApp? Do you see me and hear me fine? Please, is everything going fine? Everyone, please. Just one of you writes me on WhatsApp, please, to make sure that the connection is on, everything is fine. Okay. Everyone, can you hear me? Can you see me, please? Can one of you write me on WhatsApp? Yeah? All right. Good, 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 good. Good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The messages arrived late. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, guys, let me put this straightforward. PMP people, PMP certified people, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. Is there a mindset in the PGMP exam? Yes. Say it loud. Say it yes. Absolutely. There is a mindset. We, as PMP certified professionals, can we benefit from the mindset we acquired, we learned during the PMP exam preparation course? Oh, yes, that will help you a lot. Can I answer in the PGMP exam in the same way I answered in the PMP exam? No, no. But you will notice that there are certain points in the PMP mindset, in the mindset of in the PMP training that will help you with many questions in the PGMP exam. Mainly the questions related to conflicts, on priorities, conflicts with stakeholders, some types of elimination techniques. Absolutely, some types of elimination techniques will help you. So some points in the PMP mindset definitely will help you. I would say about 20%. When I took the PGMP exam, 20% of the questions I could answer them based on the PMP mindset. Okay, so what is the mindset? In the PGMP exam, think strategy first, not project delivery first. You need to get out of the processes of the project, and you need to think on larger level, on a program level. Okay, how to take decisions on a program level, how to be aligned on a program level, how to achieve organizational benefits on a program level. Okay, you need to make sure that the program will deliver benefits and not just deliverables, as I have already mentioned earlier. Okay, then you need to lead complexity. There will be a lot of complexity in the programs. Okay, the projects are interdependent. The functions, the regions, the cultures, all of that could impact the different projects. You need to lead that complexity as a program manager, because your purpose is to make sure that each project will deliver what it is intended to deliver, so then the program benefits can be achieved and realized. Okay, also you will have stakeholders. One of the domains actually in the exam is about stakeholders, and that's the domain where you will enjoy a lot that PMP mindset that you have. So you need to build alignment between the stakeholders, make sure that they're aligned, make sure that they really do understand what the program is about, what value is supposed to be delivered out of that program. They will have expectations. You have a lot of stakeholders. Since you have projects in your program, okay, and you have project managers in your program, and each project manager actually has got stakeholders in their projects, you're not managing the stakeholders of the projects, you're managing the stakeholders of the program. You're supporting the project managers by knowing which decision to take, which decision is right on a program level, which decision is right from a program perspective, but then you will support the project manager succeed. That's what you do as a program manager. Okay, and then you will have governance. Governance is one of the domains also in the exam. All right, we will see that in details in this session before jumping into the entire chapter in one of the next sessions. Okay, so you be sure you be careful with the governance, use it wisely. Okay, make sure escalation levels are clear. When should a project manager escalate to you as a program manager? Okay, when a project manager is held accountable. Okay, and what kind of control is there in the life cycle of the program, right? All of that is so important to understand. Now, let me tell you this. Now, I told you earlier that the PMP mindset will help you with around 20% of the questions in the PGP exam. Now, and let me tell you, the longest and the easiest domain for you as PMP certified professionals or as project managers is the 44% domain, which is the life cycle of the program. You're gonna find it easy. Why? Because you're already project managers or you're already PMP certified. And even if you're not already PMP certified or you're not already practicing according to the PMI mindset, we have a lot of free content, okay, available, so you can use that and take it, in your advantage. All right. So now, we're going to follow the PMI's 5th edition of its program management standard. Now, let me get out of here and let me go back to PMI's website. Now, I am going to log in because I have to log in so I can show you. Okay, so I'm going to log in on PMI's website. All right. And then look, guys, please, everyone watch here, because I know a lot of you people already are members on. I know that a lot of you people are members on PMI, still have your membership valid. Okay. Sorry, guys, if maybe I have a disconnection. Sorry, so it will be fine. Okay, sorry for that. All right, guys, so I hope it will be better now. Okay, let me check my connection. Yeah, it should be fine. Should be fine. All right. So please, if you still have your PMI membership valid, okay, please head over to PMI's website and go to learning. Should go here to learning, and then you go to PMI Global Standards and Publications. Okay, here. Okay, PMI Global Standards and Publications. You click on that, and here you will have a full list of the standards and publications of PMI. Of course, PMBOK Guide is the most famous one, right, among all the standards and publications. And then you have the standard for AI. And by the way, guys, we're going to make, we're going to share with you interesting updates on this. We're going to definitely going to share with you valuable resources on this. Now, here you have the standard for program management, the 5th edition. This is what you need. This is the one you need. PMI has got a long list, almost 23 or more standards and publications. You cannot read all of them, but here is the standard for program management, the 5th edition. Now, I'm going to click on Learn More. And as a member, because I have a valid membership, okay, so it's a 247-page standard. So it's 247 pages. It's not long, but it's really interesting and entertaining to read it. Really nice to read, okay? Here you have it available in, I think so far only in English, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, even the exam you can take it only in English or Chinese. Okay, I think only one of these two languages. Why China? China is because it's the biggest market for the program management certification. So you can download the English version. Okay, I do have it downloaded. Okay, so now if I go to, so quickly just to show you, because you will need that. Okay, so I go to my PgMP and then I go to my standard. Here's the standard. Okay. This is the standard for program management. It's 247 pages, all right? And then, here you have a table of content. It starts with introduction, the purpose of the standard, what's the program management, organizational business value, then program management principles, the 8 principles, which are stakeholders, benefits realization, synergy, team of teams, change, leadership, risk, and governance. We will go through each one of them in details, okay? One by one. Don't worry about it, guys. Okay? Then you will have the performance domains here. Okay, all of them explained. So strategic alignment, benefits management, stakeholder engagement, okay, governance, collaboration, and life cycle. Okay, the 6 performance domains. And in the exam, we have 5 exam domains, and here we have 6 performance domains in the guide. Okay, and then the rest is just more of program activities, integration, delivery, closure, etc. So this program Do I recommend to read it? Yes. Because in PMP, I never asked my students to read the PMBOK because they didn't really have to do it. But in PMO and in PGMP, I definitely recommend reading the standards or the guides. Okay, definitely I recommend that. So I go back here. So this is the fifth edition. Okay, it's principle led. It focuses on 8 core principles, which I just named, and we will see all of them one by one. It's really applicable on most industries. Okay, it focuses on the on collaboration as a new domain. All right, and also it is centralized around delivering value. Now, this is the fifth edition. So PMI had a number of versions of it. Probably the first one, it dates back to, I think, to 2006. Okay. That's the first one. It dates to the 2006. Then that was the first edition. And I remember when it was released, quickly after that, PMI upgraded the version because the first one was setting up or laying the foundation where core program management principles were covered. Then version 2 was in 2008, focusing on the life cycle of the program. Then 2013 was the third edition, covering more performance domains. And then version 4, 2017. And then 2024 is the fifth edition, which is more modern program management standards, 8 principles, the collaboration domains, and then also the performance domains, etc. Okay. So this is how it evolved. I know a lot of my colleagues who got PgMP certified with the previous versions. I definitely recommend to them to read the newer one because it's really, let's say, very, very helpful and very entertaining to read as well. All right. Okay. Good. Now, how many program management professionals are there in the world? Surprisingly, not as many. No, actually, it's not surprisingly. Not surprisingly, it is not as many as PMP. We said that PMP certified professionals are around 1.8 million people worldwide. A huge number. I think is the most held certification in the world. To be honest, that's what I think. Okay. Now, we tried to check how many program management professionals are there in the top 10 countries with PMP certified professionals. So we know that the top 10 countries with PMP certified professionals are China, United States, Saudi Arabia, India, Canada, Egypt, Emirates, Germany, Japan, and Brazil. These are the top 10, in number of PMP certified professionals. So in these countries, how many program management professionals, certified professionals are there? Now, China tops the list with almost 3,000 people. Then United States with 1,800 people almost. And then Saudi Arabia comes third with nearly 800 people. And it makes sense. You know how businesses are in China, United States, in Saudi Arabia, in India as well, in Canada. We talk about large businesses. We talk about large initiatives. Okay, so definitely it makes sense to run programs besides the projects. There is also Egypt. Okay, with Egypt and Emirates almost have the same numbers, 260-ish. Germany with 100 plus, Japan with 57, Brazil with 29. I think in Tunisia, my country, I'm from Tunisia, I think there is around 13 or 15, if I'm not mistaken, people with a program management professional certification. Well, let me tell you, Tunisia is 11 million or 12 million people. Brazil is 200 plus million people and only 29 PgMP certified professionals. Is Brazil a large economy? It is. Do they have large initiatives? They do. But why not so many people certified? Now, let me tell you this. It's because of the language. That's the main reason. It's not because of the price. No. It's not also because of the unavailability of training. No. It's because of the language. I told you the program management professional exam, when I was scheduling it myself last year, I noticed that actually there are only two languages available for the exam. It's either English or I think the simplified Chinese. Okay? Or Chinese in general. So Chinese, yes, there is. And then for the rest of the countries, which you see in front of you here, it's available only in English language. That's why for an 80 million plus country like Germany, only 100 people, Japan with almost 130 million people, Brazil with 200 plus, that's because language is a barrier. Okay, so this is why from the beginning up front, I told everyone it's going to be available only in English because you can take the exam only in English unless we speak Chinese, guys. All right, so we do hope that this training will be so beneficial for a lot of you. Okay, all right. Now, how long is the exam? How many questions are there in the exam? Okay. And are there any breaks like in the PMP exam? Okay, so the PgMP exam is 170 questions. Okay. In 4 hours. So it's a little less than the PMP, which accounts for 180 questions. Are there any allotted breaks? No, not officially. So, but can you take a break? Yes, you can take a break. But first, before talking about the breaks, let me tell you guys where can you take the exam. The PGMP exams are available only in proctored test centers or the agreed test centers by PMI. Okay, you cannot take the PGMP exam at home. It's not available at home. PMP is, PMI, PMOCP is, other certification exams are, but not the PGMP exam. It is available only at the test centers, the accredited or, Pearson Review accredited test centers. Okay? Now, that's very important. Now, you are in control of your time. You have the timer in front of you. 4 hours running backwards. They start with 240 minutes and then going down minute by minute. You manage your time. When you take it to the test center, you can ask for a break. It is your right to ask for a break. You cannot have a bottle of water by your side. You cannot have anything by your side. You don't need anything actually. Everything is in the OnView software, but you can take a break. However, let me alert you. When you take the break, the time you take for the break, it will be deducted from the overall exam length, the overall one. So, for example, if you decide to take a break, you take you tell the proctor, I need a break. They will tell you absolutely fine. Okay, you can take a break. However, you decide how long your break is. It could be for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. All of that will be deducted from the total exam duration. I personally, when I took my PGMP exam, I really needed to take a break, really needed that. I needed to go to the bathroom. Did I make it long? I tried not to. I tried to make it short break. Okay, even though the toilet was not closed by the test room, but I was quick. Okay. However, you can try to manage your time properly. Now, you don't have any mandatory pause, okay? And when you take a break, it's not like in the PMP. When you can take the break, you can go back to the previous questions and fine, okay? You can review them. Do all the test centers allow you to take a break? I'm not so sure, to be honest. You should put that already in your application. You should, write that you need specific accommodation. You should specify that, all right? That is so important. Okay. Now, what else? Is the time? Now, that's the most important question you need to answer. Are 4 hours enough to answer 170 questions. Now, supposedly, you will not take any breaks. Supposedly, the day before, you will not drink much liquids. Before also starting the exam, you already went to the bathroom. You're all set. You're all ready. Are 4 hours enough? Let me be honest with you. They are. They are enough. I finished my exam probably before, I think, half an hour, if I'm not mistaken. However, I should not be a reference. Neither any of the project management experts, they cannot be a reference because we are well prepared. We know project management. We know program management from the book, from the practice, from the international environments where we work. So we are very well prepared. I personally prepared for the PGMP in just, I'm going to be honest, I think in just 4 days. 4 days, and not like when I say 4 days, I don't mean like 24 hours a day. I mean, it's about 4 hours to 6 hours a day. Yeah, I needed to probably read the standard, take some notes. I needed to do that. Why? Because when I started working as a program management manager, it was, I think, 12 years ago or 2011. No, 15 years ago. Oh my God, 15 years ago already when I started working as a program manager. And I depended on that standard which was released back then, but now it's updated and I have to follow the new ECO. Okay. So yes, time is enough, but you really, really, really need to very well prepare in advance. It is not an easy exam. To be honest, it is more difficult than the PMP exam. I would say difficulty is double. Yes. Is it impossible? Of course not. I think most people pass the PGMP exam, especially if they are already PMP certified, especially. That makes it way easier for them, okay? But you need to give yourself a couple of months of thorough preparation, reviewing this course, reading the standard, and practicing those very well prepared practice exams we have. We have really good exams. I can tell you because I have prepared them personally with my team, and we made sure that they're really so close to the reality of the real exam. Really, I mean, question by question, they're so good. And let me tell you something. Our mock exam questions, they're cross domains and they're so similar to what you get in the real exam. Are they a copy? No, we don't have a copy from the real exam. No one should have a copy. But are they close? Yes. So, you're definitely gonna enjoy this. You're definitely gonna like it. You're definitely gonna have a big fan preparing for the PGMP exam and studying for it. But let me tell you my secret. I'm gonna tell you the secret. Please, I want to. You wanna pass? You wanna pass easily? Okay. Think as a program manager. Okay. Think outside of the context of the project. You need to think as a program manager. You need to convince yourself that you are a program manager. You're watching after a number of related projects and, coordinated projects. They are coordinated together. Think that way and you shall pass. Now, what is the eligibility for the program management certification, guys? Now, there are 3 paths. Okay. So either you have high school with around, I think, 7 years actually of experience, okay, within the past 15 years, or you have a bachelor's degree or higher, and then you need to prove that you have 4 years of project management experience or PMP certification plus 3 years of program management experience, or you need to have higher than that a GAC accredited program. I think most of the people will fall into the path B category because here is for everyone who is bachelor's certified, master's certified, engineers certified. So you're mostly going to fall here in this criteria. Okay, most of you guys. So you need to have, if you have a PMP certification, then you need to have proof that you have 48 months or 4 years of experience in programs. Now, that's not the difficult part. Now, the most interesting part is actually the application itself, which I will explain in a while. All right, I will explain in a while the application part. Good. So, how much does it cost to take the PMP exam? Is cost an issue? I think the cost sometimes is a little bit of an issue to some people. That's why they did not go with the PgMP certification, because the cost is almost double or more than double of the PMP exam. So if you go on PMI's website, it will show you that the cost for the PgMP exam is around, I think, $1,000. $1,000 as a standard price worldwide. However, the prices you see here on the next 3 slides, these are the prices offered by our company. Why? Because we are an ATP partner. Okay, so we are ATP partner. So actually, we can provide the exams at cheaper rates. Okay, and the prices are divided by zones. You have Zone A countries, such as, Zone A countries, let me be honest, these are the rich countries: Japan, United States, Canada, European countries, most of EU countries, sorry, not European countries, but EU countries, okay? The European Union countries, most of them, Switzerland, Norway, Hong Kong, Taiwan, these are considered rich countries, the Gulf countries, I think the GCC countries, I would say not exactly the GCC, the Gulf rich countries: Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Emirates, Bahrain, Oman. These are rich countries. So they will, the price, if you already are a member on PMI, if you are already PMI member, you will pay with us. I'm talking about price with us, with our company. That's not the price you get from PMI. That's in case you pay through our company. It's either $749 or, in euros, it is 699 euros. But if you are not a member, if you are not a PMI member, then the price is $949 or 849 euros. And by the way, it can be a little bit less depending on the exchange rate. Now, I have put here the prices, based on exchange rate of today, I think, or some time ago maybe. Okay, but in case the dollar goes down or the euro goes down, definitely the price can also go down. But these are so far the prices of the PgMP certification for Zone A countries. Okay, European Union countries, Gulf countries, some of the other rich countries, etc. Now there are Zone B countries. Okay. Zone B countries, here we're talking about some of the other countries in Europe, such as Albania, Bosnia, Chile, Uruguay, South Africa, Turkey, etc. So they have a little less price. Okay, if you are already a member, you have an active membership on PMI, on PMI's website, then the price in dollars is almost $600, 599. In euros is 549. If you don't have membership, so if you need to purchase it purchasing the membership, then it's almost $800, 799 or 699 euros. Okay, this is the price for Zone B countries. Now, if you're interested, you need to contact me directly on WhatsApp. Let me know what is your citizenship, and then I can tell you how much it will be for you. All right, and then there are Zone C countries. And this is for the rest of the world, if I may say, like, North Africa, Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco, Egypt, some of the other Middle East countries, the rest of Europe, I'm talking about probably Moldova, the rest of Gulf countries, such as Iraq, Yemen, rest of Africa, also rest of Latin America. Let me be honest, the developing countries, okay, we're not rich yet. We're going to get there one day, maybe, but the rest of the world. How much is the price? Now, here I have put also the Tunisian dinars. Since I come from Tunisia, and I know most of the audience are from Tunisia. So the price, in case you are already a member, let's suppose you took the PMP exam recently, you have active membership. So the price for the PGMP exam is 1,599 dinars, or 499 euros for other countries, or $549 for the other countries. But if you need to purchase a membership along with the exam, is 1,999 dinars, or 599 with euros, or 699 for USD. Of course, it always makes sense to have a membership first, so you can pay much less. Okay, so these are the prices through our company. Those are not the prices you pay on PMI's website. On PMI's website is more, okay, but through our company it is less. Okay, if you want to go through Ben Hamuda Consulting. Okay, so these are the prices of the PGMP certification according to the zone. All right. All right. Good. Now, how to apply for PGMP? Before I show you, and by the way, the price that you see here, that's what you see depending on your IP address. So you see here, for example, and this price in case you are already a member. Okay, in case you are already a member. So it's 560 on PMI's website, it's 549 with us, and it can be less because it really depends on the exchange rate. Okay, so it can be even less depending on the exchange rate. It can go to 539, 529, $519, for example, depends on the exchange rate again. So this screenshot is taken from PMI's website. Okay. Depending on your IP address. Now, let me tell you this, please. Before you apply, please note that the application will take some of your focus. You need to focus. It will take some time. I personally have written everything in the application by myself, not a single word from AI. Never, really. I wrote all of it by myself. I talked about real projects and real programs I managed. Okay. And it's very easy. It is not really complex at all, but it takes time. You might need an hour and a half, 2 hours to write it down, but it's so easy. You're just gonna describe what you do. Okay. I did not use any AI, and PMI recommends that you really write it down by yourself. Okay, because the process for PGMP and PFMP is a little bit different compared to the process to PMP. It is not the same process. Okay. Now, once you log in into your PMI account, okay, as you know, as usual, now you're going to put there your education level. Okay, your academic level, all right, whether you have an engineer's degree, a master's degree, bachelor's degree, etc. All right, because your educational level will define whether you will need to prove just 4 years or 7 years of program management experience. Okay, all right. Now, then you move on to talking about your project management experience. You see here this we call the metro line. Do you see the metro line here? You need to talk about project experience. However, if you have a valid or an active PMP certification, then this is waived for you. So when my colleague was preparing this slide, you can see it says your PMP certification fulfills the project experience requirements, so we can skip this part. You will not need to talk about any project experience. If you have an active PMP certification in the past 15 years, I got my PMP certification in 2012. So 15 years will be next year, 2027. That's why I need to finally sit for the PFMP exam, the Portfolio Management Professional exam, in the next, let's say, 12 months. Okay, because in the next 12 or 11 months, it will be already more than 15 years since I earned my PMP certification, and then I will have to talk about projects again in my application. But if you have an active PMP certification, you do not need to document any project experience. That is a waiver for you can skip this part. Okay, and then you will simply continue straight to your program experience. Okay, this very, I think, understandable. Now, you're going to talk about here about your program experience. Let's move on to program experience. Here, you will need to describe the program or the programs on which you have worked or you are working. Okay, you need to prove you have 48 months. Okay, you need to prove that you have 48 months of program management experience in case you have a bachelor's degree. All right. So you put here the program title, in which organization did you work, what was your job title. I mean, the job title doesn't necessarily have to be program manager. It could be strategy manager, transformation manager, division leader, senior project manager. It could be really different. Okay. Then the functional reporting area, what is the department or in which department did you work? The organizational primary focus, like in which industry does it operate? Does it exist? Is it an IT, telecommunication, construction, education, etc.? Then the program budget, if you know it. If not, you put the minimum. Then the number of direct reports. How many people directly report to you? In other words, how many project managers directly report to you? Okay, and then here, direct reports as project managers and direct reports to you in total number of project team members. Then the program dates from which month and year to which month and year, and then comes the program benefits. Which benefits the program was supposed to deliver. You need to provide a high-level description that summarizes your experience and includes the program objective, benefits, measurement metrics, your role on the program, your responsibilities, and what were the deliverables out of the program. Now, you need to do that by yourself. AI is not going to help you here. It's not going to help much. Okay, so you really need to do it yourself here. You really need to have worked on programs. Now, let me tell you, I'm going to be honest. Many people who approached us in the past years, asking us if they can do the PMP. And when we look at their experience and their CVs, we know that in between the lines in their experience, in their assignments, and the initiatives they worked on, they really worked on projects. So we tell them, yes, you can really go for the PMP because they fulfill the conditions. But for program management, you really need to have worked as a program manager. There is no way you didn't work as a program manager. You really need to do it, okay? All right. Now, what happens after you submit? Because if you go back to the wheel, once you talk about your program experience, then you will have another part in which you will write your experience summaries, your overall experience summaries, and you need to describe different parts of the experience you have you have in business. Okay, so you need also to write down all of that experience. Okay, and then you need to, as I said, talk about the strategic program management, how your program was aligned with the strategy. That's you added here in the experience summaries here. Okay, you need to talk about strategic program management, how you align the program with the organizational objectives and identified benefits. There will be a question about that. The second question will be the program governance. How did you set up the escalation paths? How did you engage the executive sponsors? And how did you maintain control across the program? That's another part you need to fill out, okay? And finally, the third part is about leadership. Okay, the program leadership. How did you, manage the stakeholders? How did you resolve the conflicts? How did you, guide the cross-functional teams? That's a third part. So let me again summarize this for you. You will indicate your education level. Then you will talk about the projects you managed. But if you are PMP certified, this is waived for you. You don't need to do it. Then you're going to summarize your program management experience. You're going to talk about the programs. Which programs did you manage? Did you lead? What were their contents? Which projects did you have inside each program or inside the program, because the program can run for years. And then you experience summary on strategic program management level, on governance, and on leadership. And then you go ahead and put the exam details and then submit your application. Now, let me tell you this. PMI will review the content you have shared with them on the program, on the other part, the experience part, besides the program. And in case it approves your application, and to be honest, they will approve it in case if you write it by yourself, if you don't copy paste, if you were honest in all of what you have put. Mine was approved 22 hours, not even 24 hours. I think I submitted it on 8 p.m. 8 p.m. The following day at 5 or 6 p.m. it was approved. The application. That doesn't mean I'm entitled to take the PgMP exam yet. Once your application is approved, it will go through a it will go through a secondary, what we call panel review. Okay. Panel review. Now, of course, your application could be selected for audit. There is audit process, same as in PMP. It could be selected for audit. Okay. And the audit process, we have a video about it. You can watch it on YouTube. It will explain to you how to go through the audit process. And you have 90 days to submit the documents they ask you for. Okay. But then your application will go through, you have to submit the payment. Okay. Well, you have to make the payment. Okay. And then once you do the payment, the application will go through a panel review. And the panel review will take approximately 60 days. Mine took, I think, 24 hours or 48 hours, not the entire 60 days. Now, someone would be worrying and would be saying, hey, I already paid for the PgMP exam. What if the panel rejects me? Well, PMI tells you, if you get rejected, either you resubmit again or you get refunded. Don't worry. PMI is a very honest organization. Don't worry. Your money is safe. Your money is safe. Don't worry about it. Okay? So you will go through a panel review. Is the panel going to invite you for an interview? Not necessarily. They might say that, but they wouldn't probably do it. They did not invite me though. Okay? So let me summarize the process again for you. You summarize your program management experience. You summarize your overall experience on the strategic governance and leadership levels. You submit your application. Then it would take 10 days for PMI to answer. In case you're selected for audit, you provide the documents you indicated and the references. If not, then you move on to payment. Once you make the payment, your application will go through panel review. Okay? Now, experienced professionals like yourself will be reviewing your application. In case they will have any questions, they will ask you. In my case, they did not have any questions. Okay? In case they need from you any updates, you will do that. Otherwise, you get refunded. Then you're supposed to take the exam within 1 year after the panel reviews approval. You will have 1 year to take the exam after the panel reviews approval. Okay? And then you sit for the exam, you pass, you get certified, and then you have to maintain it and renew it. Every 3 years, you have to earn PDUs. You can earn PDUs on the Project Companion, and we will put there a lot of videos that will help you earn PDUs, okay, and make sure that you really renew your certification on time. The renewal fees are $150 worldwide, $60 for developing countries. Okay, 150 worldwide. Maybe tax applies. Okay, in case you are a European resident or a Gulf country resident, so it can go up to 180, 80 plus. But if you are coming from a developing country, or let's say not rich country like North Africa or other countries, you pay $60 only for renewal, plus the 60 PDUs you will need for the PGMP certification renewal. Okay, I hope the process is so clear. If you want my recommendation, try it. Try it this week. Okay, try to go on PMI's website and submit the application. Okay, spend 1 hour or 2 hours on summarizing your experience, your program. You have to write, I think, minimum 200 words, minimum. I think you should write ideally 500 words, I think, but it's worth it. It's really worth it. It's a very good experience, a very, very, very good certification. Okay? Now, let's talk about the standard. We will take the break in 20 minutes. We will not take the break now. We will take the break in 20 minutes. So we still have 20 minutes to go. All right. The standard, this one was released in 2024. Okay. I think I showed it to you earlier. You will need to download it from PMI's website. In case you remember, you cannot share it with others because it's password protected, but I definitely recommend reading it. It is really important to read it. Go for it, read it. In case you don't have time to read it, we made sure that this course presentation contains everything you need so you can go or have a smooth preparation for the PGMP certification. Okay? All right. Good. Now, let me tell you this. The ECO, you can also download it from PMI's website. So we go back to PMI's website. Okay. We go now to here, certifications, and then PGMP. Okay. And then, because I'm already certified. Yeah, it shows here. You go down, it shows you the exam content outline. You will have it in English or in Chinese only. So it's only available in English or Chinese. And you can download it. Okay. Now I have it downloaded. I can open it, the exam content outline. Okay. Now let me go back from the beginning, because if you are already PMP certified, you know how important the ECO is. Okay. It has got 18 pages. Okay. Now, this is released in March 2024. It is the latest version, and I think it will be valid for the next at least 3 to 4 years. I think each ECO is valid for at least 5 years. Okay. Now, here are the 5 domains. The 5 domains of the program management professional exam. You really, really, really need to be acquainted with the ECO before you even apply for the PGMP. And this is why in session 1, we are covering the ECO, because you really need to understand what is the content of the exam. You need to understand what are the domains which PMI will test you on, so you can really prepare very well for your application as honest as possible. Of course, you can apply for the PGMP after the training, after you finish the training on 31st of July. Yes, you can do that. Okay. Anyway, so domain 1 is strategic program alignment. how the program is aligned with the company's strategy. That is so important. Domain two is program lifecycle management, and this is the longest one because it accounts for nearly 44% of the exam questions. So nearly, I would say nearly 70 or 70 plus questions are about the program life cycle. Okay. Again, that is not very similar to the project life cycle. No, that's a program life cycle. Okay. We will cover it in this training in the next sessions. Then domain three in the exam is the benefits management, how to make sure as a program manager that benefits were really realized out of the program from those interconnected or interrelated and coordinated or related projects. Domain four is engaging the stakeholders. Okay, that is so important. We cannot have a project or a program or a portfolio without stakeholders. And domain five is governance, the rules, within which operate the projects and the program itself, or the projects within the program and the program itself. All right. Now, this ECO document, it covers the core knowledge you need to have in each, or in the domains, plus the core skills required in all domains. Okay, we will not read it from the PDF. We will actually read it from the presentation. We have this also in the presentation, the percentage of each domain. So strategic alignment is 15% of the questions. The life cycle is 44%, benefits alignment is 11%, stakeholder engagement is 16%, and governance is 14%. Okay, you understand the program life cycle, you're gonna do fine on the stakeholder engagement, and definitely you're gonna score fine on the other domains. You pass. But make sure you really understand the program life cycle very well and the stakeholder engagement, and you will get your certification almost, because for sure you will score decent numbers of questions in the other domains. Okay. Now this is really really important. Okay. And then you have each domain explained with the tasks. Then here you have the strategic program alignment. Okay, and then which parts are found in the other domains. All right, so it's here. This is the knowledge specific to this domain. Okay, what is the specific knowledge you need to focus on? So, for example, for the strategic program alignment, besides the 8 tasks which we will see in the presentation, you really need to have specific knowledge about business strategy, organizational objectives. This also applies to the governance domain, economic forecasting, feasibility analysis, financial measurement and management techniques, funding models, funding processes, intellectual property laws and guidelines, legal and regulatory requirements, marketing, portfolio management, program and constituent project charter development, program mission and vision, public relations also applies to domain number 4, which is stakeholder engagement. Okay. Public relations, requirements analysis, scenario analysis, strategic planning and analysis applies also to life cycle, system implementation models and methodologies, trends analysis. Okay, so these are knowledge specific to this domain, plus what is cross domain as well. All right, now before you think, oh my God, this is too complex, this is very difficult, please don't say that. Don't think that. Okay? Our role is to make this as easy as possible for you. All right? We will cover these tasks in a while from the presentation. And also all of these specific knowledges or knowledge to each domain, you have it covered in the presentation. Definitely. We're going to talk about, we're going to have slides on business strategy, organizational objectives, economic forecasting, etc., etc. Then the next domain is the life cycle, is the longest one. I think it has 30 plus tasks. It's got nearly 35 tasks. Yes, it's very long domain because it's about the life cycle of the program. Okay, we will go through the tasks, all of them one by one. And you will need to have also knowledge. For this domain, you need to have knowledge about benchmarking, how to close plans, procedures, techniques, and policies. This also applies to governance because domain number 5 is governance. Decomposition techniques like, WBS, financial closure processes, logistics management, performance and quality metrics, phase gate reviews, procurement management, product or service development phases. The program and constituent project charter development, program and project change requests. Now, this is so important. Many questions in the exam are about managing changes in the program. Program initiation plan, okay? Program management plans, quality control, and the tools and techniques for quality management in a program, resource estimation, whether they're human or material resources, okay, resource leveling techniques, the root cause analysis, schedule management, and tools and techniques for scheduling in a program, how to manage a program scope, service level agreements, and there are a couple of questions on SLAs in the PgMP exam. Statistical analysis, strategic planning and analysis, SWOT analysis, talent evaluation, team competency assessment techniques, training methodologies. These are all specific knowledge, tools and techniques you need to know for the PgMP exam. We have all of them covered and secured in this training, so you don't have to worry. We're going to simplify them for you as much as possible. All right, so you don't have to worry about them. And then you have the third domain, which is benefits management. All right, so the first domain was the strategic alignment, then the life cycle, then the benefits alignment or benefits management, if we can call it. Okay. There are 8 tasks, and there are some knowledge specific to the domain. So domain specific knowledge. For this benefits alignment or benefits management, the specific knowledge you need to have are how to optimize benefits, how to measure the business value, and there are many questions about business value. Decision tree analysis, maintaining and sustaining the benefits after the delivery of the program, how to measure qualities, performance, and quality metrics, program transition strategies, okay? Then the fourth domain is about stakeholders, and here are 7 tasks. We will see all of them one by one. Okay, and you have some specific knowledge to this domain, all right, such as managing relationships with the customers and stakeholders, how to measure the customer satisfaction, how to manage expectations, and this is quite an interesting one. There are a few questions about different expectations from different stakeholders, how to maintain relationships with the public entities. Okay, and then also what could be adequate training methodologies for the different stakeholders. All right. And the fifth and last domain of the PgMP exam, as defined in the ECO, is governance. Now, for governance, there are about, I think, 11 tasks. Okay, we will see all of them one by one after the break. And here also you have some specific knowledge to this governance domain, exam domain. How, which tools and techniques we can use for archiving, like archiving program documentation or project documentation, or making them available for the other projects, like lessons learned repositories, etc. Managing business objectives, making sure that they are achieved, how to close different plans, procedures, which tools and techniques and policies to apply here. Now, the relationship with Program Management Office, PMO, Program Management Office. We saw Project Management Office, and here we will see Program Management Office. Are they so different? Same logic, different level. Same logic, different level. All right. How to financially close the processes? The go, no go decision criteria when deciding, on deliveries or on projects, the frameworks for the governance, the processes and procedures for the governance, also, different measurements, metrics, reporting, KPIs, etc. Then analyzing the performance and maybe some of the reporting techniques such as the earned value analysis. I can already see some faces smiling. Some people saying, "Oh my God, I was hoping I could run away from the earned value analysis in the PMP exam. Now here again, I see it in the PgMP." Yes, it can be maybe a question about earned value analysis, but not not calculation, not that not those formulas probably as we saw in the PMP, maybe not that many. Okay, then how to make phase gate reviews, how to manage the changes on a program and a project level, and also in case of any need for any statistical analysis. All right. So these are key knowledge skills or key skills you need to have when preparing or when taking the PGP exam. All right. Some of the core knowledge required in 3 or more domains, they are already repeating here. Business ethics, it was not mentioned. Business models, budget processes, brainstorming techniques, benefits management analysis techniques, change management, coaching and mentoring techniques, collaboration tools and techniques, communication tools and techniques, conflict resolution techniques. There will be many questions about conflicts for sure. Okay. Contingency planning, contract negotiation or administration, contract types, cost benefit techniques, cost management, cultural diversity and or distinctions, data analysis, data mining, decision making techniques, emotional intelligence. There is, I think, 1 or 2 questions about emotional intelligence. Human resource management. There is, I think, 1 or 2 questions about it. Impact assessment techniques, industry and market knowledge, information privacy, knowledge management, leadership theories and techniques, management techniques, motivational techniques, negotiation strategies and techniques, performance management techniques like cost, time, performance against objectives, planning theory, techniques and procedures, PMI, the code of ethics and professional conduct. I think you most guys know it. Take presentation tools and techniques, problem-solving tools and techniques, management, project management information system, reporting tools and techniques, risk analysis techniques, risk management techniques, risk mitigation opportunities, strategies, safety standards and procedures, social responsibility, strategic management, success planning, sustainability and environmental issues, and team development and dynamics. Now, PMP certified professionals already recognized several of the mentioned techniques here. Yes, we know. Okay, they are knowledgeable about many of these techniques, and yes, many of what you have seen in PMP actually you will see them again, even though they are on a more extended level or larger level on a program management. But yes, many of these techniques are not new to you, okay? But here the ECO mentions the core knowledge you need to have, which apply to 3 or more domains. And then the core skills, which are required in all domains, and then we can take a break. Active listening, analytical thinking, capacity planning, change management, communicating, critical thinking, customer centricity, client focus, distilling and synthesizing, yes, requirements, employee engagement, executive level presentation, facilitation, integration, innovative thinking, interpersonal interaction and relationship management, interviewing, leadership, leverage opportunities, managing expectations, managing virtual, multicultural, remote, global teams, maximizing resources, achieving synergies, negotiating, persuading, influencing, prioritizing, problem solving, stakeholder analysis and engagement, systems thinking, time management, and then vendor management. These are the core skills you need to have. And you can see that all of these core skills, obviously, they apply on large let's say initiatives, okay, or large components. Okay, so this is the ECO. This is all of it. Okay, I went with you through the skill, the knowledge specific per domain, then the skills. You need to have cross domains or in all domains. All right. Now we will take a break of 15 minutes. Please don't quit. If you quit, you cannot come back. Please don't quit. Don't leave. We will take a break of 15 minutes, and then we will come back exactly at 1950 GMT plus 1, 1950. All right? So break, and then we come back. So we have just dived together into the specific knowledge for each domain from the ECO, as well as the core skills we need for in all domains. Okay, so as I said, these are not really rocket science. They're not complex when you talk about analyzing or analytical skills, communicating, critical thinking, facilitation, integration, innovative thinking, leadership, interviewing. These are common and general skills which apply on projects, on programs, on portfolios, etc. Now, we will need in this session number 1 to deep dive into the ECO's domain one by one, and we will need to deep dive into each of the domain's tasks one by one. Let's start with the first domain, strategic program alignment. And of course, guys, in the PgMP exam, you will not get, first the strategic program alignment questions and then the life cycle questions, blah, blah, blah. No, they're mixed up. Okay. Now, when we talk about strategic program alignment, we do already understand from the title that the program should be aligned with the strategic levels of the company's vision, mission, strategic business objectives, etc. So you will need to, as a program manager, to be able to perform an initial program assessment to really know whether this program is worth launching or not. And this is by defining the program's objectives, requirements, risks, to make sure that this program is really aligned with the organization's strategic plans, visions, objectives, priorities, and also the mission itself. Okay, so it's similar to what we have seen in a project. Before launching a project, you need to conduct a business case analysis. Do we have business case for programs? Oh yes, we do have business case for programs as well. Then another thing you need to know on a strategic program alignment level, which is how to have a high-level roadmap with clear milestones and also sometimes some primary estimates in order to get some initial validation and approval from the executive sponsors on what we call sort of a business case. Okay. This roadmap should be defined with also including a financial framework in order we can set a baseline for the program, then steps in the life cycle, which are the program definition, the program planning, the program execution. All right. It's also important to know how to write down a program mission statement. So what is the mission of the program? And this is by evaluating the stakeholders' expectations, what are they worried of, in order to have clear program directions, and also then alignment and engagement of the stakeholders, which you will need later on for the stakeholders domain. All right. Then evaluate the program's business case. This is what I talked about to develop it, to validate and assess the program objectives, priority, feasibility, readiness, and the alignment of the program with the organization strategic plan. Now, so far, what we have seen here, it makes sense because even as project managers, even in the PMP program training, we already saw similar stuff, but on a project level. Exactly. Then also you need to know how to analyze the available information you have about the organization, its business, its strategies, any influencing factors, whether they're internal, external, what could drive the program, what should be the benefits that the stakeholders are expecting, how to achieve them. We need to probably sometimes do some benchmarking. We saw that as a scale you need to have, comparing that with the trends in the market, or maybe use a cost benefit analysis so you can develop the preliminary program scope and also, prepare a benefits management or benefits realization plan. You guys who joined my PP training before, you know that we studied the benefits management plan on a project level. That is also applicable on a program level. That's why tracking benefits is a major domain. So benefits alignment or benefits management, that's actually an exam domain in the PgMP because PgMP is not PMP. PMP cares about processes in the project, people in the project. PgMP is more on a strategic level, okay? Then estimating the high-level financial framework and also any non-financial benefits. The program needs to obtain or maintain funding. Also, keep the funding flowing in to drive prioritization of the projects within the program. Another task is to evaluate the objectives relative to the regulatory and legal constraints, social impact, sustainability, cultural considerations, political climate, any ethical concerns to make sure that all the stakeholders are aligned and a program is going to be delivered. You need to obtain organizational leadership approval. The program charter, yes. Cost, milestone schedule, expected benefits, so you can have the authorization on launching the program. Okay. Then also another task is to identify and evaluate the integration opportunities and needs, like, in case, we need any human capital, what are the human resource requirements, their skill set, what finances do we need, any facilities in which we need to operate in case the projects are in the same location, what kind of assets, processes, systems, because coordinating multiple projects, and in each project there are multiple resources, that requires quite a coordination. Okay, I'm sorry if my voice is breaking, guys. You see, I'm using the 5G network, and now it's not 5G, it's showing me 4G, so it went down a little bit. So that's why my voice went, is breaking off a little bit, but for sure it will get back to 5G. Okay, so please bear with me, it will be fine. Okay, so I appreciate your support on this. Thank you, everyone. Now it's back 5G, it should be fine. Hopefully now it should be fine. Okay, so as I mentioned, these are the different resources or different reporting or integration opportunities. All right, this is for the program and also for any operational activities to make sure that all of them are integrated and aligned in regards to benefits and within the organization. Again, always think large, think big. A program is bigger than a project. A program is large. It's not a large project. It's not an ongoing project. No, it's actually composed of multiple projects. That's why it requires a higher level of management. And then in case of any opportunities, you need to exploit them in case they're strategic, because they could maximize the realization of benefits. You're managing a program and then you see an opportunity that would impact the program benefits. If it's, if it's related to the program or if it will benefit the program, you need to know how to exploit it. Okay? So this is the first domain of the exam, the strategic program alignment. And to be honest, let me tell you this. Why did PMI start with this domain as the first one to explain? Because honestly, you need to understand on a strategic level how to think. This domain one, I call it the thinking domain, or the domain of the thinkers. You need to think. You need to really get out of the shape of the project and now think more on a strategic level. You're not coordinating a resource for a project. You're trying to ensure availability of resources for entire projects, for several projects. You will support the project manager securing that. You need to have a program charter, a program business case, a high-level roadmap, how to align that with the company's mission and vision. Okay, we saw that on project level. You do it now on higher level, on the program level. All right, so think that way and you will make it in the PgMP exam. Let me tell you this. When I was about to take the PgMP exam, when I was reading the standard, I told myself, I need to change the way I look at things. I mean, we did this in practice before at work, but when it comes to an exam, it's more structured, the exam. So definitely you need to get out of the context of a project, think big, always think big. So this was the first domain. Now we move on to the longest domain, the training and in the exam. Almost half of the exam, almost 44% of the exam questions are about the life cycle of the program. Okay, you need to manage that life cycle. Now, of course, you will start, by developing a program charter where you put there the initial program scope, the assumptions related to the program or the interrelated projects, the constraints, what could be high-level risks on a program level, and you don't need to go down on a specific project level unless if it would impact the entire program. What could be the high-level benefits, how to realize them, when to realize them, who would be the key stakeholders for this program, what are supposed to be the outcomes, or what are supposed the outcomes to be, how to allocate resources, and any other details that are related to the program and the business case itself. Okay, so this is what we call enabling strategic alignment, using input from all the stakeholders so you can properly and correctly initiate your program, plan it, design it, and make sure that the benefits are realized. I want you guys to remember, benefits out of a program are mentioned in many questions in the PgMP exam. Keep that on mind, please, okay? Because program is strategic, is supposed to deliver benefits. Then how to translate these strategic objectives of the organization into a high-level scope statement of the program, how to do negotiations with the stakeholders, because definitely stakeholders will have sometimes conflicting requirements. You will have definitely a program sponsor or sponsors, steering committee for sure, and you need to create a clear scope description. And yes, you have a program steering committee, because at the end, as a program manager, you're consolidating the reports from the interrelated projects you have in your program, and then you're reporting on a higher level, on your level as a program manager, to the steering committee. And the steering committee, they will ask you about the program. Yes, they will go down to projects, high-level reporting, but then what they care about is this program successful? Is it going in the right direction? Yes or no? And of course, in the PgMP exam, you will face many situations where one project in your program is failing. Yes, one project in your program is struggling. Yes, that you will see it often in the PgMP exam because you need to work directly with the project managers to support them, to achieve success. Then to develop a program roadmap using the goals and the objectives which you have set beforehand or forth in the business case and other documents. What kind of historical information we could use from previous lessons learned registers, for example. What kind of other available resources we can use, like WBS, any scope statements, any benefits management or realization plans, and in order to align the program with the strategy and manage the expectations of the stakeholders, including the sponsors and steering committee. All right. Then developing a RAM, which is a responsibility assignment matrix. Yes, also we do that in programs. You need to understand the different program roles. You will have a program support. You have a program management office. So the same roles you had. You have a program team members. You will see that in a while. Okay, you will have program team members. Yes, you will see different roles, similar to a project, but on a program level, and it's not the same focus area. Okay, or there's not the same focus. Different program roles and responsibilities, how to build the program management core team, and differentiate between the program and project resources. And now here, this one, differentiate between program and project resources. That is important. Many people, fail to distinguish between those resources, and then they were not able to answer correctly the questions in the exam. Then defining standard measurement criteria, including the KPIs for the program for success, and also review points for all the constituent projects which are part of the program. Components, there could be projects, there could be components, like some product management work, for example, not necessarily a project, or some operational work. It can be, yeah. And you need to analyze by analyzing the stakeholder expectations and requirements across these constituent projects or components in order to keep a close look at the program. All right. Another task is to conduct the program kickoff, similar to the project kickoff, with the key stakeholders. You need to have the you need to hold meetings in order to make sure that the organization is familiar with the program and get the buy-in and approvals you need for your program. Okay. Also, you need to develop a detailed program scope statement by incorporating the program vision and all the internal and external objectives, any goals, any influences coming from external or internal or variables in order to facilitate the overall planning. So yes, it will have a life cycle kind of similar to the project, and you need to know what happens in each, let's say, step or phase of that life cycle. Then you need to have a program WBS. We saw the project WBS, the work breakdown structure. You need to have a program WBS so we can plan, design the program, tasks and deliverables. Okay. Now you might end up asking me, all right, Ahmed, now I get it. Now in a project, we need to have a plan. The plan will have tasks, work packages, milestones. Do we have similar thing in a program? Absolutely, yes. Okay, yes, we have that. I personally, as a program manager, whenever I assisted my project managers with their plans, and then what I did is I consolidated all of those project plans into a major program plan. Okay, of course, I will have ways how to indicate that this is for this project, this is for this project, but then I consolidate them on an overall project plan. Maybe I will not go in details, in tasks details on a project level, but at least I need to know the major deliverables, major milestones of the projects, and then consolidate all of that into one major program plan, besides what I need to create for the program itself and define as tasks and deliverables. Okay, because the program will have deliverables on its own as well, not only the project. Then you need to have the program management plan. Yes, and also schedule by integrating the plans for the constituent projects, which I have just mentioned, and creating plans for supporting program functions such as program quality, program risk management, program communication, program resources, so you can effectively forecast, monitor, and identify any variances during the program execution. All right. So similar concept to project, but way larger. Optimize the program management plans by, you need to identify, review, and level out the resources, whether it's human, material, equipment, etc. So we can gain efficiencies and maximize productivity or synergies among the constituent projects or components. All right, guys, we will cover all of these tasks during the entire training. You don't have to worry. Okay, they're not complex at all. Now, of course, you're seeing this for the first time. You might think this is so complex. A lot of new words. None of them, almost. No new word, almost, to be honest. Probably a couple of new words. Everything else, we know them as words. We saw them as words. Now, we're just taking them on a program level. Okay? So also you need to decide which information system you will need to use for the program, and that's almost a must. You cannot manage a program, with a pen and paper. It's difficult. Okay, it's really difficult. You need to have probably more of a program-oriented PMIS system, project management information system. Okay, so you can select the tools, the processes, so you can properly share knowledge across the projects, the intellectual property, any documentation, so you can maximize the synergy among the projects, the components, also make any savings, because there will be a lot of waste in the program, because in case there is no synergy between the projects, that will return in waste, and also how to realize the benefits according to the governance framework. And then also you need to identify, no, they are not in order. Someone asked, are these tasks in order? They are not in order. And in the exam, we don't know which task from which domain you will start with or which comes next. And even here, they are not in order, not in any chronological order or logical order. There is somehow some sort of logical order between certain tasks, but not all of them in each single domain. So you need to also work on the issues which will rise on a project level. And let me tell you guys, nearly 22%, nearly, that's my estimation. 22% of the questions on the PgMP exam, they put you in a situation where there is an issue on a project or a number of projects. Okay, so you need to know how to monitor and escalate the issues, or what course of action you need to take, so you can stay consistent within the program constraints and objectives, so you can realize the benefits. Do you escalate immediately? No, and that's one point from the PMP mindset we need to keep in the PgMP. We don't escalate immediately. You have to resolve the issues first, try it by yourself. You need also to have a benefits management plan. We talked about that earlier, to include, how you're going to integrate the benefits, transition them once the program is over, and sustain them. Okay, so you need to know what is the exit criteria of the program, and what are all the administrative steps, maybe sometimes also contractual steps to be completed, so you can ensure program completion. Develop KPIs by using decomposition or mapping, so you can manage the program and implement the scope and quality management systems within the program. Monitor the human resources for the program and the project roles, including any subcontractors, and check if there are any opportunities in order to improve the team motivation in case of any career alignment plans or sort of non-financial incentives. Okay, and negotiate any contracts so you can meet or exceed the benefits realization objectives. Another task in the life cycle, okay, is to charter and initiate the projects. Yes, as a program manager, you need to be a key stakeholder in every project charter. Please write this down. As a program manager, okay, let me be honest. I never said this, but I want to say it. I will say it in plain language. The program manager is the boss of the project manager on a program level. He's not necessarily the sponsor, but is definitely the sort of, to whom the project manager reports. Okay, if the project is part of the program. Okay, so you need to be a key stakeholder on a project charter. So you need to assign. So you're going to assign project managers. You're going to allocate the appropriate resources so you can achieve the program objectives. Now, someone has just asked right now, does that mean that the program manager is the sponsor of the project, since they will assign the project manager, allocate appropriate resources? We're talking on the program level. each project can have a sponsor, a different sponsor, a separate sponsor. But also the program manager, we need to, contribute to that by, a program manager can accept or can assign a project manager on one of the projects in their program and make sure that the appropriate resources are available. Does that make the program manager the sponsor? No, that's a program manager. The program has got a sponsor. That is the program manager, the sponsor of the project? No, not necessarily, not truly. Okay, that's a program manager, but they contribute to assigning the project manager and also providing necessary resources as support. Then also another task is to make sure there is consistency by developing the appropriate governance framework. We will see that later in the governance. Uniform the standards, which infrastructure to use or tools or processes in order to have informed decisions in the program. Okay. Another task you will also need to know and learn as a program manager is to have a communication channel. So you need to have communication feedback plan, how to report, how to capture lessons learned, and the team's experiences throughout the program. So here we're talking about knowledge management. You need to know how to lead the human resource functions. You need to know how and when to provide training, coaching, mentoring, how to organize that. How you can recognize the team's performance. This, will help keep the team's engagement high and keep them committed to the program's goals. Also, you need to review the project manager's performance in their respective projects according to the project plan. So a program manager can ask a project manager, give me a status update, give me a plan update on your project. Yes, so the project manager will report to the program manager. So here you need to make sure that they are contributing, or you are contributing as a program manager to achieve you need to ensure that the project managers are contributing to achieve the program goals. Because once you have set up the goals for the program, you will break that down on the projects. You need to make sure that the project managers understand what the program is about, what are the program objectives, so also our goals, so they can contribute to that. You're not alone in this. They should be with you in this. Okay. Also, you need to review the project managers. You need to execute the appropriate program management plans, we mentioned earlier, using the tools, and also auditing the results to ensure that the program outcomes are always aligned with the strategy and also with any compliance requirements. You need also to consolidate project and program data using predefined program plans, plan reporting tools. So reporting is one of the main things you do as a program manager in practice, even though there were not in the exam many questions about reporting. And then also need to monitor and control the program performance and communicate this on time and properly to the stakeholders. You need to evaluate the program's status to monitor and control the program while maintaining the current program information, and approve the closure of any project or any component once it is completed, or at least the deliverables are completed. So then the scope of the project is compliant with the functional overview, or what has been agreed on in the program plan. All right. In case of any variances, we studied variances in project management. In case of any variances or any trends, like variances in costs or trends in costs, schedule, quality, risks. So you need to compare then the actual results, okay, with, and forecast to the baseline or the planned values in order to see where you need to take any corrective actions or where there are opportunities you need to exploit, okay? Also, we need to update the program plans by incorporating the corrective actions to make sure that the program resources, they are utilized effectively, so we can always make sure that you meet the program objectives and deliver the benefits. You need to manage also the program issues, like any human resource issues, financial, technology, scheduling, by understanding, where does the issue come from, what kind of action to take, so you can stay always consistent within the program constraints mainly. All right. Also, you need to manage the changes. And as I said, there are several questions about changes in the PgMP exam according to the change management process. So you can keep the scope, quality, schedule, cost contract risks and rewards always under control. Okay, this will help you achieve the expected benefits. You also need to conduct impact assessment for program changes, similar as we saw in projects. Whenever there is a change, analyze the impact. Now here also that PMI mindset we talked about of not taking irrational decisions, or what we call in PMP last responsible moment. That same mindset is applied here in PgMP. It's even applied in PFMP. Okay, don't take fast decisions. Analyze, make sure you have the necessary data, all the data, and then take a decision. The same applies to changes. You need to assess the impact, so then you can make the recommended decision, so you can have the approval. And you have to follow the change management process as set forth in the governance framework. Okay, so as we saw in projects, we saw in projects that we have the integrated change control, the integrated change control process, or the change management process, the CCB. There is something similar in program management. Yes, similar to CCB, the change control board, the program CCB. Okay, they also evaluate the changes, assess them, and then take a decision. It's very similar. And there are a few questions about that. That mindset from PMP, it will help you with this part. And it's quite decent part of the PGMP exam. Then also you need to manage the risks. So you have to identify the program risks. And in case there are any risks on a project level that would impact the program, you need also to make sure that you identify them and record them in the program risk register according to the risk management plan. All right. Also, you need to conduct and complete the performance analysis report. Make sure that you always base your report on actual values compared to the planned values on the different plans. And then you need to report on the program performance. In the PGMP exam, there are, I think, one question or two questions about program performance and whether the program should be shut down or should continue. So you need to have the similar logic to the project, but rather on a program level, and especially how the program is aligned with the strategy and how much benefits is it delivering. All right. Then another task in the program lifecycle, and really, guys, really so important that you can distinguish between the different exam domains and the tasks in each domain. It will really help you answer questions correctly in the PGMP exam. Then how to do program closure within the boundaries of the framework. You remember that administrative closure of the projects in the PMP training? There is something similar also. So you cannot close a program if you have projects that are still open, that's for sure. Also, you need to first close the projects, then the contracts, then release resources, confirm benefits, hand over, and then close the program. So it's a little bit more complex, for the program, a little bit more tasks, I would say, so you can close a program. You need, of course, sometimes some of the deliverables or some of the components need to be handed over. Imagine in your program, one of the components was to create and deliver a part of a product, of a huge product, strategic product you have on a company's level. Now, that's done in the program. You need to hand it over, okay? So then, you need to do it properly according to what has been agreed. In case you need to archive any program documents and lessons learned, do that. In case of any activities that are ongoing. What do we mean by ongoing activities in a program? Because we saw in one of the earlier slides that in a program you can have activities. Operations. Yes, because the program can have projects, components, operations, any other, for example, products as well. So that's possible as well. So you also need to know what to hand over to operations or to functional organization, how to transition the program benefits, so you can meet the program objectives and sustain the ongoing operations. This is so important as well. Remember, the same logic we have in projects. Whenever we launch a project, the purpose is to achieve higher value out of that project at the end of the project. And the same with the program. Even though the program runs for longer periods, like, for years, sometimes, But still, we need to make sure that at the end of the program, we have achieved a higher value compared to the initial state. So always the future state should be bringing higher value. All right. And then, all of those lessons learned, you need to report them, put them in the lessons learned repository, report the best practices, or we call it the knowledge repository, so you can support the future program decisions and also any organizational improvement. Okay. Now, this is the second domain. Guys, it is really important that you go through all of these tasks again. You need to rewatch the recording, listen to my explanation. Believe me, I'm not kidding. All what I have said until now in session 1 and what I will continue saying in the remaining of session 1, that's a big game changer in your PgMP exam. Really, really, really is a big game changer. I'm going through those tasks by one by one. Okay. In the PgMP exam, there are not many tools and techniques like in the PMP. Okay, so don't worry, shouldn't be worried that you will see a lot of techniques, specific techniques for estimating, for planning, for this, for that. Actually, it's way less because the program management is testing you more on other levels. All right, let's move on to the third domain, which is benefits alignment or benefits tracking or benefits management. You can call it whatever you want, as long as you understand that we need to make benefits. Benefits does not mean money. A saving is a benefit. Being strategically aligned is a benefit, etc. So you need to have a benefits realization plan, how to measure the benefits. Okay, put that as a baseline and communicate it to the stakeholders, including, of course, the sponsors, the steering committee, etc. Identify and capture the synergies and efficiencies identified throughout the program lifecycle, so you can update and communicate those the way how those benefits are being realized to the stakeholders. Also, you need to develop a sustainment plan. How those benefits will be sustained, maybe enhanced later on. So you need to have processes, measures in place, metrics, tools, so you can manage the benefits once the program is completed. Okay, not probably you, because you would say, oh, my role as a program manager ends when the program ends, but you need to have that identified. So whoever is going to carry on with the benefits, they will know how to sustain them. All right, because we need always to continuously realize the intended benefits, because sometimes we close a project. I'm not talking about the program now. Sometimes we close a project, but no benefits have been realized until probably sometime after the project, because the benefits were mainly increasing sales. So we created the platform, for example, for a clothing manufacturing company, so they can sell their clothes online. And, it wasn't possible to make any benefits once, even though that platform was launched, and it took a little more time until customers of that company, that clothing company, started being acquainted with the website and they started purchasing on the website. So that's when benefits have been realized, and that was already mentioned in the project charter, for example. So imagine that on a project, and you put that on a program level. All right. Also, need to monitor the metrics, like any forecasting, analyzing variances, any what-if scenarios, simulations using any software or any tools, also any other analysis, so you can take corrective action in the program and maintain it, and even potentially improve the benefits realization. You need also to verify that the close, transition, and integration of any constituent projects or components meet or exceed the benefits, as set forth in the benefits management plan. You will notice in the PgMP exam a lot of questions about the constituent projects. A lot. Okay. Also, in this third domain of benefits management, you need to make sure that benefits are maintained in the register, the benefits register, and also any program progress is recorded, and also you report on the benefits to the stakeholders via the agreed communication plan, the proper reporting mechanism. Okay. Then you need to analyze and update the benefits realization or benefits management plan. They are the same almost. And also any sustainment plans in case of any uncertainty, any identified risks, any opportunities you might see them. So you can determine if any corrective actions need to be taken, and also need to keep your stakeholders updated. Now, I'm not talking about escalating. I'm talking about keeping them updated, okay, in your reporting. All right? Good. And then develop a transition plan to operations to guarantee the sustainment of products and any benefits delivered by the program itself entirely. All right? So that was the third domain. Now we come to the, I would call it the easiest domain, okay? The stakeholder engagement domain. PMP certified participants, I think they know very well how to manage stakeholder engagement. Okay, so first you need to start by identifying your program stakeholders. All right, who would be the members of the steering committee? Now, let me tell you this. In the PMP training, we saw that for a project, sometimes the sponsor is enough. For a program, steering committee is necessary because the program is large, is big. Do you remember in the PMP training when I told you that when the project is large, is big, where there are so many stakeholders and entities involved, we will need a steering committee because a sponsor alone is not enough. Now, but a program is big, so we need a steering committee, okay? So we need to create a stakeholder matrix, whatever engagement or assessment matrix, so we can document their position towards the program. So we can use probably some sort of a power interest matrix or influence matrix, power interest influence matrix, etc. You need to have or perform stakeholder analysis. You can rely on some historical analysis. Also need to have some observations, interviews, look for any formal agreements like any RFPs, RFIs, any contracts, and any inputs from any other sources that you can rely on so you can create the stakeholder engagement plan. This is not so different than what you saw in a project management. Okay. Also, make sure that you know how to get your stakeholders to support you while clearing expectations and acceptance criteria, so the program benefits can be achieved and you can show that they are being achieved and maintained throughout the program lifecycle. You need to make sure that there is visibility of the program. Make sure that you confirm with the stakeholders that they support the program so you can achieve the strategic objectives. Now, communicating with stakeholders is key. Conflict resolution is key. So you need to know how to communicate, when to communicate, in which format to communicate. All right. You need also to check if there are any risks identified or related to any stakeholders. Like, for example, if there is a risk related to the sponsor or to senior management members, etc. So you can put that as part of your program risk management plan. Okay, if you see that some stakeholders are starting to be resistant, you need to understand why, you need to address that, and you need to take it on with them. All right, you don't want to have any resistant stakeholders in your programs for sure. Also, you need to know how to develop better relationships with the stakeholders to ensure their support to the program. You need to have also okay. That was I think no that was it for the stakeholder engagement. So stakeholder engagement, I would say it's pretty standard. Very similar to what we saw in project management. This is why I told you this is the domain that is straightforward, that is easier to understand, easier to answer based on the PMI mindset we learned in the projects. So you don't have to worry from this, but you always need to think on a program level. I want you guys, all of you, the 300 plus person available in this session, please, I want you all to aim for the PgMP certification. Application is easy. I mean, it takes time, but it's easy. Training, you get for free. Exam, you get discounted price from us, even cheaper than on PMI's website. Okay? All of this combined, together with the great mock exams we have in our Project Companion platform, the quizzes. If you get access to the companion, you get access to the free material of the program management, and all of that should make you ready to sit for the exam probably in a couple of weeks, maybe 1 to 2 months maximum. I would say right after this training, along with our mock exams, practice exams, I think you should give it like around 1.5 months, 2 months, 1 month, and take the exam and pass. Yeah, really, I'm giving you positive energy. I'm trying to, encourage you. I'm trying to really, help you get certified, on the next level. And then the last domain, which is domain number 5, governance. For me, governance is a very, very important domain, not only in programs, but in every structure, in every component or initiatives where we work. Because without governance, we are not, abiding the rules. So you need to here to develop the standards and structures like governance, tools, rules for finance, rules for reporting for both the program and the projects. You can rely or you can benchmark with the industry best practices. You can also check with the PMO, all right, or go to the organizational assets or organizational standards. So we can have more efficient and consistent, more efficiency and consistency among the projects and deliver the program objectives. Now, this is so important. Rules keep you safe. Governance keeps you safe. All right. Also, you need to know which governance framework structure you need to select. That includes the policies, the procedures, the standards that are aligned with the program practices. And also you need to, watch after the organization's governance structure. So you can, make sure that your program's governance is aligned with the organization's governance. Now, PMBOK 8, for example, and mentioning PMBOK 8, let me tell you this. Someone asked, Ahmed, I never read the PMBOK. Now, when I'm preparing for the PgMP, do I need to prepare with the PMBOK 8? Do I need to read the PMBOK 8 as well? Well, look, if you are already PMP certified, not really. If you're not, then either take a PMP training or read the PMBOK 8. That's one thing. Another thing is the ECO of this PgMP is released 2024 when it was still PMBOK 7. So some people would think, okay, since it was released 2 years ago, the ECO for the PgMP, I might need to read only PMBOK 7. That's not correct. Because that ECO was prepared while the PMBOK 8 was almost drafted. Remember, the draft was released at the end of 2024. So therefore, many things actually in this PgMP certification, they're actually aligned with the PMBOK 8 as well. Yes, absolutely. You need to keep that in mind. Do you need to read PMBOK 8? I don't think you need to do that. Okay, unless if you insist. All right? Good. Now, you need to make sure that as a program manager, you obtain the necessary authorizations and approvals through the proper channels, also following any stage gates or state gate reviews by presenting the program status to the governance authorities. You can also probably see the word governance board that already exists in the new PMP based on PMBOK 8 in our new PMP training, but also you might have a governance board in a program. So you cannot move from one phase to another in the program unless you go through sometimes you go through some state gate reviews. Also, you need to evaluate the KPIs. Make sure that they don't fall below the thresholds, and you go through the recommended action as stated in the governance in case of any bad performance. All right. You need to develop or utilize the program management information system, integrate different processes, manage program information, and communicate the status to the stakeholders. Regularly evaluate new and existing risks that might impact any strategic objectives. Now, this is something a program manager does, but the project manager does not really do. So, see, this is one of the key differences because as a program manager, in case you observe a risk or you identify a risk that would impact the strategic objectives of the program, then you need to, you need to present that, report that, present it, update your risk registers, and, take it to the governance board I mentioned earlier, so they can, approve what is the recommended action. Of course, the logical thing you need to do is to try to work on mitigating that risk. You could work on it by yourself. You could, involve your team, as well as you could coordinate with some project managers on it. Not not because project managers um, are really good with risk management, because as a program manager, you were a project manager one day, but also on a program level, you need to manage risks. Okay. Then, as part of the governance, and as we saw in project management, you need to make sure that the escalation paths and the escalation policies and rules, as well as the escalation procedures, are set forth, are put, as clear as crystal in the program plans, the program governance. So we make sure that everything is handled in the right way, not only risks, but all communications or approvals or documentation, all, passage from one phase to another, how to handle certain situations in the projects, all of that should be clearly stated and documented in the governance of the program. Okay, so how you set up the governance of the program? Of course, you need to know how to. You need to know what governance is on a program level. You need to know how to set it up, but usually you would follow the organization's governance and also any governance set before by the PMO. That is important. Then make sure that the information repository is continuously updated, is maintained with any program-related lessons learned, any updated processes, any documentation contributions. These will support the organization's future decisions on programs. Programs are expensive. Write this down, please. Programs are expensive. They cost a lot of money. And let me tell you something funnier. Programs are a big headache. If you succeed in a program, you can succeed as a big manager in any organization. Now, this is one of the reasons I want to help hundreds of people get PGMP certified. Many people are so ambitious. After people get PMP, they ask me, Ahmed, what to do? Of course, you know my answer. I already provided it. But also, many people think, should they take an MBA? Should they go for a DBA? Each one of these programs or education programs or diplomas or certifications, they serve for a different purpose. Now, let me tell you this. I saw many companies, many organizations, when they open for a senior role, like a really senior role, they don't ask only for the PMP, but also they ask for a MBA. Did you guys know what's in the PGMP? I never saw any company asking for a PGMP, even though I would tell you this, 90%, 90% of the senior managers, division leaders, executives in any organization in the world, they run programs or they initiate programs at least, okay? So why don't we see the program management certification often? Because not everyone knows it. But what will happen in the next 3 years? I can guarantee you this, guys. It will be famous. PGMP, either PGMP or the other advanced certification that will come from PMI. Okay. I am also personally working on an advanced certification, which I might be releasing in the next 6 to 12 months. I called it the Project Master certification. So Project Master or PIMSTER, as we call it internally. Okay. And that will take the game to a whole different level. Okay. So why? Because we want to give um, project management practitioner the most efficient and shortest path to success on strategic and high levels. So PgMP is one of those certifications. All right. Also, you need to make sure, as you know, that lessons learned, they are once they are identified, they are also applied, so they can, as I said, can contribute to any future continuous improvement initiatives from the organization. Okay. Now, something I like a lot about what the program manager does is to monitor the business environment. Yes, the project manager should monitor the business environment, but the program manager as well should monitor the business environment because the program manager has got higher vision. And now let me tell you what you need to do. As a program manager, if you observe a change in the business environment, if you observe a risk in the business environment, you need to know when and how to communicate that with your project managers. You need also to support your project managers in adapting their plans, adjusting their plans. Why? Because we need to make sure that the program will always deliver the expected benefits, the expected value. Okay? And in case you see a threat or a change in your business environment, and you know it will impact that project and that project within your program, you need to coordinate with the project manager on adjusting the plans. This, just on this part, you will have nearly 10 to 12 questions in the PgMP exam about that. How you can, I wouldn't say cascade or cascade or send down the information to the project managers so they can take the proper measures, so they can adjust their plans properly. Okay, because yes, the project manager is accountable for the project success, but you're accountable for the program success, and the project, that particular project, is part of that program. Okay. And then, in case any activities from the program need to be integrated within the operations, you need to follow the described steps, how to integrate any program, any plans into the operational level. Okay, and within also the strategic objectives of the program. So, a lot of interesting. A lot of interesting tasks, focus areas, knowledge areas, I would call them, performance domains, the program manager focuses on and performs. Now, what did I try to do in this first session? And by the way, we still have more slides in this first session. Don't quit. Don't quit. Stay. We still have some minutes. Okay? What did I try to do? I tried to, first of all, provide you with an overall overview on what the program manager's scope of work is about. I will have a few animated slides or slides with human-like figures. Probably I have the next one here. No. Okay. Let me check. Yeah, we'll come to that. We'll come to that in a while. We'll come to that. I tried to really help you understand what the program manager role is about. Yes, I know there's still some confusion. Don't worry. You're seeing this for the first time. You probably did not work for long as a program manager. Don't worry about it. I know this. I'm taking care of you. I am taking care of you. Okay? That's one thing. I need to explain to you what the program is. I don't want this training to be only about how to pass the PgMP exam, how to get certified. I don't want that. People who joined my PMP training, they know I want to create successful project leaders. And now you know what I want to do? Make of those project leaders successful program managers, because then when they want to go to higher rankings, higher positions in their organizations, they will do it. I will definitely do my best to spread this advanced knowledge online, so companies now on will not only when they open a senior position, they will not only ask for a master's degree, but they would say master's degree or PgMP certification. And by in the next few months, they will be all, or by next year, I want also those companies to know, oh, we want either a master's or doctorate, or maybe PgMP or PFMP. Why? Let me tell you this why. Yes, maybe the PMP exam examines you only on 3 domains in project management. Maybe the program or the PgMP certification exam examines you on 5 domains, but those are really important ones. But in our training and through the knowledge we share with you, we try to broaden your knowledge, share with you more extensive, wider knowledge, so we can pass and pass. Pass the exam, succeed, and pass from one role to another. Okay? That's what I want you to focus on, guys. Write it down and, help me achieve that. I cannot achieve it by myself. I am leading you on this. Please also support me in this initiative. Now, these are the percentages of the different domains of the exam. So, biggest one is the life cycle, 44%. Here we're talking about planning, executing, monitoring, closing, programs, scope management, schedule management, risks, lessons learned, etc. Then stakeholder engagement, and how to identify, how to manage stakeholder relationships, how to communicate, and how to handle and manage expectations, how to provide support, foster support, etc. So together they account for 60% of the questions in the exam. The minimum passing rate, no one knows. As usual, we expect it to be around 65%, at least in our exams, in our PgMP exams in the companion. I showed you earlier, if I go to my admin panel and I go to exams and quizzes and I go down here to PgMP, yes, all of the exams and quizzes for PgMP, PMO, PMP, for all of them, we have set the minimum passing score at 65%. That's for me, if you score 65 or above, you're fine. You're fine. Yes, PgMP is available in our company in English only. Yes, we can have it in French if you want, or in other languages. But since the exam is available only in English, of course, unless you speak Chinese, because there are only 2 languages. So that's why we will provide it only in English. Okay. So we will have 5 full mock exams in our companion for the PgMP, along with a number of quizzes. And as I told you earlier, okay, as I mentioned earlier, you will have a very similar UI, very similar to the PMP course, where you will have a full 24-hour course, divided by chapter. The quizzes, you will have 1 quiz per chapter. Then the learning resources, okay, in PDF for every chapter. So for every chapter, I'll put the PDF separately, same as we have in for the PMP. Okay, let me go back to the training. So you will have the full 24-hour course as a companion. The practice exams, here, the practice exams, you will have 5 practice exams for the PgMP, all of them of 240 minutes, 170 questions. That will be available at the end of the training. Okay, with a pass rate. You see, let me show you one of the exams of the PMP. For example, I want to take the full exam of the PMP. I click on full exam, start the full exam. It will show me the exam. I can either choose a practice mode, which means without the clock. So you see, without the clock, or of course it will say I failed. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you. I did not fail, to be honest. But okay, let me go back to the let me go back to number 2. Or I can choose to have a practice mode with the clock. You see, now the clock is running. It puts me in real conditions of the PgMP exam. Now this is for PMP. We will have the same for PgMP. Then you will have the questions. You will see in a while the question formats. Okay, so the questions, blah 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 blah, and then I will quit this. Okay, And then, it tells me, I failed the exam, and then it gives me the review. And the review will be based on domain, on task, how much I scored. I can, practice more questions in this task. I can click on it, and it will open more questions to practice in this exam. You see, it opens more questions to practice in that task that I failed because I failed that task. There is a particular task I failed. I can download in PDF. I can have the summary of my questions, their answers, the explanation, all the answers, which one is right, all the answers, which one is right, all the answers, which one is right, the explanation. This is what you have for PMP. I can retake the exam if I want to. I can download in PDF. I can view my history. I have here a dashboard of history. You see, this is my dashboard. You see the dashboard? It's so nice. Look at the dashboard. It shows me full exam PMP2. You will have the same for PgMP. How much I scored, number of answers correct out of a total number. I can review or I can retake. Okay? And the same, this is for exams. This is for quizzes. Also, it shows me the team chapter quiz, business environment quiz, risk management quiz. So you will have the exact same thing for program management because my team, they're updating this. I told you this is just this works for real, but on Thursday, we will have the MVP released. And once we release that for PMP, then we will take care of the PgMP. Okay? Because the PgMP content is ready. The exams are ready. The quizzes are ready. I can even show you if you want. I don't mind. Someone asked to show. Yeah, let me show you exams. Let me open one of the exams, the full exams of PgMP. Oh, they're not published. I don't want to publish. But no, you know what? I can edit. I can edit here. No, I don't want to publish. I can manage questions. Let me see questions. Let me see questions. Oh, these are the formats questions, the drag and drop and stuff. No. I'm not going there. Wait. I can do it differently. You see, because I'm not taking care of this. It's my team taking care of this. But I probably can edit. No. Wait. Where are you, Qmar? Qmar is the one who has said this. I need to know. Wait. Is it here? No, okay. I don't know where are the questions, but I know there are questions in it. Oh, here they are. Here they are. Yeah, I'm sorry. Here they are down here. So, Arvion is a construction organization for railway and underground construction projects and programs. You're the program manager for blah, 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 blah. And then, of course, you will not see it like this. This is the admin panel. This is admin. I'm an admin. You will see it displayed in the same way like PMP. Okay. Nexo is an organization for large and complex marketing projects and programs. Nexo got a new program, the sponsor, blah, 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 blah. And then answer A, B, C, D. And of course, they programmed it answer D. So this is how my team is working on the different questions. But what you will see is you will see something so similar to the PMP. So I have to get out of the admin panel because I'm in the admin panel. So I have to get out of the admin panel. So let me show you another thing. Let me probably show you a quiz. How quizzes in PgMP will look like. I will take a quiz in PMP. For example, I go to chapter 2. Let me go to chapter 6, governance in PMP. Okay, I go to chapter governance. I go to quizzes. I have 3 sets of quizzes, either a quiz of 5 questions, 15 questions, 25 questions. Let me go with maybe 25 questions. Okay, so your questions in PgMP will look exactly like this. You have a question. We will see this type of questions. A question and 4 possible answers. And only one you can pick. Okay, I go next. I don't know what. I'm not reading the questions. Okay. Again, same type of question. I go next. Now this is a drag and drop. So I have to drag from here, drop here. I have to drag from here, drop here. I have to drag from here, drop here, and I have to drag from here, drop here. Okay, this is for PMP. This doesn't exist in PgMP. I'm just showing you. So I go next. Okay, question 1 for 4 answers. Only one I can pick. The same. I'm picking just without reading. Okay, the same. Now another one is reading. You have to select all possible answers. So I'm selecting answer A, answer C, and answer E. Okay, so you see it next. It did not show up here. Unless if I had selected 3 answers. If I unselect this one, I cannot go next. I have to select all of them. This is for PMP, guys. This is our companion for PMP. You get similar for PgMP, but according to the type of questions in PGMP. But I just want to show you how quizzes work. So I go next. No, I go next. I go next. I'm not reading. I'm just going next because most of the questions of the PMP and PGMP are in this format. Question, 4 possible answers, 1. Then another type of questions, I think, click on every phase review checkpoint where the murder board conducts a formal evaluation before authorizing the next phase. Probably this one, probably this one. Can I go next? Yes. And probably this one. Maybe this one as well. I don't know, to be honest. So these are the type of questions for PMP, the new PMP, of course. Okay. Then I don't know what are these questions. I'm not reading them. So I'm 15 out of 15, 16. Okay, let me go randomly. Approve, reject, I don't know. And then drag and drop, another 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 drag and drop. I'm not reading, to be honest. I'm just dragging and dropping. I go next. I just want to show you how a quiz of PGMP will work in your case. Of course, and then select 2 answers. I will select only 1 answer. I cannot go next. I will select 2. I can go next. I want to select this one instead of this one. So I click here. It changes to this one. Then I want to go. See, it allows you only to select 2. Each time I click on an answer. So I go next. Again, select 2 answers. Okay, I'm picking these 2. And then the last one is this quiz, which is drag and drop, the new format in PMP. So I'm probably this one, I don't know, and submit. Then, of course, I answered only 1/5 of the questions correctly without reading them. I failed the quiz, and here it shows me which domains were covered in this quiz. I open each domain. It shows me the tasks covered, It shows me here also the tasks covered. Okay, and how much in percentage I scored. I can, see all the questions, all the answers, which ones I answered wrong, which ones are the correct answer, what was my answer, what was the right answer. Then the explanation. Okay, the same for all, the same with the pictures. This is for PMP, guys. And if I answered correctly, it shows in green. The frame is in green. If the frame is in red, I answered wrongly. Okay, so this is for all. I hope you like the format, guys. Please, if you like it, if you like the format, let us know. Or if you have any comments, let us know. I can download in PDF. I click on download in PDF. I have the PDF, so I can keep it. If I want for this governance quiz, I have it here in PDF, nicely formatted. Okay, here it is in PDF with the pictures, etc. Then I can decide to retake the quiz or view the history, and that history takes me to my dashboard of quizzes and exams. Please, if you like it, let me know on WhatsApp or in the comments if you liked it. This is the companion, our new platform. Of course, what you are seeing is nothing compared to what is coming. This is the so basic version. This is zero, as I said to my colleague last night, this is version 0.1. It's not even version 1 yet. Okay, even what we are going to release on Thursday is going to be probably 0.5. And then there will be many, many versions to come. And then I told you this becomes a whole metaverse-based companion. It's called companion, which means a tool which will live with you in your project management journey. Now, what you need to expect is very, very similar that same platform, very similar set of questions and layout and display for the PGMP questions. Even though the PGMP questions are only 3 types. Scenario-based, so you have a realistic program situation with 1 best answer. Best first next type of questions. You will see that in the tips and tricks at the end of this presentation. Or multiple response. Select 2 or 3 correct options. These are the only 3 types of questions you can get in the PGMP exam. What we saw earlier about those graphs, those charts, that pull down list, that drag and drop, that's only in PMP. Okay? But in the PGMP, you get only these 3 types of questions. Only these 3 types. No drag and drop, no point and click, no hotspot, no enhanced matching, no case study. Those are in the new PMP certification exam. And I did not show you everything in the companion. Actually, the companion is, even though we will release the MVP in 2 days from now, but the next release, which should come in October, maybe September, October, it will be way smarter. It will be way, way, way smarter. Okay. I advise you to have a look on Thursday once we announce the release. Okay. So the ECO, it defines what is on the exam, the 5 domains, the tasks, the knowledge, percentage of the weight of each domain, what kind of strategy and planning to do to prepare for the exam. I will help you with that. But then the standard, which I showed you earlier, the 5th edition of the standard, it defines how program managers work. The 8 principles plus the 6 performance domains, key terminology, why we're doing this, etc. So this is the difference between the ECO and the standard. Okay. So do you need to read the standard in case you want to? Okay. Do you need to read the ECO already? You already did. You already did that with me. Okay. So maybe I recommend reading the standard in case you have time. Otherwise, you're fine with this training presentation. Okay. And then let me tell you one last thing. Okay. And on this slide, there is the code, which you need to write down in case you want to confirm your participation in this first training session. All the questions are scenario-based judgment questions. The PgMP exam, it will measure how you think, how you decide, how you understand, how even you lead in real program situations. Okay? So it's not memorization-based. Really, zero memorization, zero. No formulas. Guys, no formulas in the PgMP exam. It's all scenario-based judgment. So what you need to do is read the scenario of the question. You need to understand the context, the actors, the facts. You need to really try to probably figure out, is this question touching on the governance domain? Is it the stakeholder domain? Is it the life cycle? Is it the benefits? Is it the strategic alignment? Which one? Then identify what is the issue happening that we need to resolve, because half probably of the questions in the PgMP exam put you in a conflicting situation or an issue and you need to resolve it. Okay. Then you need to evaluate the next best action or the best next action, which action to apply, that would save the interest of the program and keep it strategically aligned. And at the same time, make sure that the projects will deliver the expected benefits or deliverables or outcome out of them. So that would contribute to realizing the benefits from the program. And then always go with the answer that preserves or conserves the strongest program leadership logic. Okay, always think enterprise outcome, long-term value. All right. So this is it. This is everything I wanted to share with you in this first session of the program management training. What I need you to do, guys, is reflect on what was shared in this session. I want you to aim for the certification. Try to start your PgMP application. Please try to start it. It's not really complex. Try to start it. Spend an hour doing it. And then, once the PgMP application is approved, that will be a huge push for you. And remember, you can always benefit from the discounted prices, which we help you get, whether you are from Zone A, like the rich countries, the European Gulf countries, the North American countries, some of the Asian rich countries, or you're in Zone B, like those middle countries that are not so rich but not so poor, or you are from, like myself, from a Zone C country, and always you can benefit from a discounted price. It's really a big opportunity for you guys. Take it. Don't leave it. And You can expect more updates tomorrow on the summary of this session. I need to share the summary and probably the slides of this session on LinkedIn in a post. I will include a link for the so you can enter the code of which you have seen on the last slide of today's session, so we can be sure that you have really joined the session, so we can benefit from several things. Okay. This session is recorded. It will be shared on the companion. So the recording will be shared on the companion, and all the recordings and all the quizzes and exams, we will let you know at the end of the training how you can get access to them. Okay. So until Thursday, at the same time, session 2 will be on Thursday at I think 6 p.m. GMT +1. So until then, thank you very much for joining today's session. Please, if you have enjoyed it, leave a comment on LinkedIn. Please, I would appreciate that so much. That would encourage us a lot. We have put a lot of effort in this. I'm going to try my best to support you until you get certified, until you get or you move to the next level. So really, a little support from you, a comment, a like can really mean a lot to us. Thank you so much, everyone, and see you on Thursday.